Tonight, police dig up a Maitland backyard for the remains of a mother who was last seen 45 years ago. And we're being warned to look out for our pets as the warmer weather wakes up our region's snakes.
This is Southern Cross News with Abby Donaldson.
Good evening. Police are investigating a new lead in a 45-year-old cold case mystery, the disappearance of Colleen Adams. Dominic Beaton joins us from Port Pirie. And Dominic, major crime detectives have been busy digging up her former Maitland property.
That's right, Abby. Detectives have been busy conducting extensive excavations in the backyard of a Maitland home in Bagnall Avenue, which was once owned by Miss Adams herself. This afternoon, police arrested Colleen's husband, Jeffrey Adams, who is now cooperating with the investigation. SAPOL plans to ramp up the search over the coming days and hopefully find the answer to the 45-year-old mystery. On the 22nd of November of 1973, Colleen Adams was seen leaving her home with 2 packed suitcases, hand in hand, to never be seen again. Police from the Major Crime Investigation Branch making a surprise announcement that the case would be reopened.
I believe there's a strong likelihood that Colleen could be located if we were to search her previous home address. We've been engaged doing that for the last couple of days, and we used some ground-penetrating radar.
The radar did find areas of disturbance underneath a concrete slab, but after excavating the site, no remains were found.
We're basically engaging people with earth-moving equipment at the moment, and carpenters, and we will plan for that further search to occur in the near future.
Investigators are confident that if Colleen is at the property, they're 100% certain that they will find her. Back to you, Abby.
A Corn woman charged with the murder of a fellow townsman in November last year has had her matter in court adjourned for 6 weeks. The defence argued that her client, Adriana Tennant, had only yesterday been psychologically evaluated and needed more time for that information to be assessed. Police will allege that Miss Tennant struck and killed Corn man Nathan Freer with her car after an altercation between the two. The accused will face court again in November. A $650 million solar thermal plant in Port Augusta will have to wait a little longer to switch on, with reports operations will be delayed. It's understood a failure to secure funding for the anticipated project is the reason for the delay, which means the site will now connect to the grid in 2021. The construction stage is set to provide 650 jobs for the region, but Solar Reserve says the site's infrastructure is still on course for 2020 completion. Whyalla police have seized 2 guns following a raid on a property. They've warned of the dangers of the illegal gun trade, saying one of the weapons discovered was reported stolen a decade ago.
Armed and dangerous, these 2 guns pack a powerful punch. Whyalla police have taken them off the streets after a raid on a property. Inspector Mark Hubbard says it comes after firearms were allegedly used to threaten a Whyalla Stuart resident.
Police searched a number of addresses under the Firearms Act and located a double-barrel shotgun, a .22 rifle and ammunition at an address in Whyalla Norrie.
It's also a stark reminder of how guns can pass through numerous owners. Inspector Mark Hubbard says one of the weapons had previously been reported stolen in another part of the state.
It was stolen in an aggravated serious criminal trespass about 10 years ago and has been passing from person to person for the best part of a decade.
And anyone with illegal guns is being warned. Police have them in their crosshairs.
So if we suspect that a person is breaching the Firearms Act or has unlawfully possessed firearms, police can search an address any hour of the day or night.
A 25-year-old man was arrested and charged with making aggravated threats and firearms offences. He was refused bail and will appear in the Whyalla Magistrates Court at a later date. John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Whyalla Steelworks owner Sanjeev Gupta's plan for a Formula E race in Adelaide has stalled. The state government has declined to invest in it, citing the cost of the event. Formula E is an electric car championship with races at some of the world's most famous circuits. The race would have been on the Adelaide Street Circuit, which hosted 11 Australian F1 Grand Prix and currently hosts the Adelaide 500. As the weather warms up, it means snakes are on the move, and our local vet practices have already been treating pets for bites.
Some of the world's deadliest snakes are beginning to wake up from their winter slumber, and we're being warned to watch out.
They're going to be grumpy, they've not had anything to eat for a while, and that means their venom, unfortunately, is very strong at the moment.
Which has seen local vet clinics already treating dogs for bites.
Snake bites are the second biggest cause of traumatic death in cats and dogs. That's only road traffic accidents kill more cats and dogs than snakes.
The most common bite is from the brown snake, with the area also known for tiger snakes and death adders. And here's what to look out for if your pet has been bitten. If they have a different bark, show signs of paralysis, muscle tremors, vomiting, hypersalivating and panting. So it's important to act fast.
Dogs can die, pretty quickly. Some will die within half an hour, some it will take 3 or 4 hours. The recommendations are to just get them to the vets as soon as possible.
But to avoid a very costly treatment of anti-venom, there's some simple tips you can do at home to help keep your backyard snake-free.
Really keep their yards clear. We don't want lots of piles where the snakes can be, long grass, vegetation. Try and keep that clear.
Now this girl Lascara here is perfectly harmless, but it is advised if you do see a snake in the wild to stay calm and leave it alone. Casey Treloar, Southern Cross News.
Oh, you're very brave, Casey. Still to come tonight, Whyala's Deputy Mayor declares she'll run for the top job at November's local government elections. And why these Port Lincoln teachers are taking maths outside the classroom. Hello again. Mining company Cobalt Blue Holdings has commenced a drilling program near Broken Hill. It's hoping its cobalt project near Thakkaringa can yield positive results and become a leader on the global market.
Cobalt is commonly used in lithium-ion batteries in everything from smartphones to electric cars. In 2017, average prices for the mineral more than doubled due to the high demand and lack of supply. Cobalt Blue Holdings is hoping their project, 20 k's west of Broken Hill near Thakkaringa, will soon contribute to the industry.
I think longer term this is a world-class project in the making, and I welcome the support from the community and the interaction with the community along that journey.
Cobalt Blue's project is currently in its early days. The company is conducting a bankable feasibility study and an extensive drilling campaign to improve its knowledge of the area. Over 15,000 metres will be drilled over the coming months.
In conjunction with the BFS, we're also doing some further optimisation work, which was part of the release, and that will help secure, I think, the long-term future of the project.
Mr Kataravac says Cobalt Blue is confident it will be able to obtain funding to complete future stages of the project. Patrick Ryankey, Southern Cross News.
Whyala's Deputy Mayor has announced she'll run for the top job at November's local government elections. Claire McLaughlin, who'll go up against current Mayor Lynn Brewer, says she'll bring fresh ideas to the role.
After months of thought, Claire is running for mayor. The Deputy Mayor has confirmed she's in the race, pitting her against the current one, Lynn Brewer. Ms McLaughlin says a new face is needed for the city's new era.
I believe it's about the future now. It's about, Whyala's at an exciting turning point. We've had fantastic investment from GFG, which has been great.
Ms McLaughlin is a business owner, former manager of the Westland Shopping Centre and a member of numerous community groups. She's been on council since 2014 and served 3 terms on the RDA board. She says her greatest achievement in the last 4 years was securing funding for Headspace to come to Whyala.
It's up and running, and it's a very great service that the youth of the community are using for their mental health needs.
Economic diversification is also in her sights, pledging to work with all sides of politics.
On either side of parties to work as a positive team to get the best investment outcomes for our city.
But her main focus is uniting council after years of fractured relationships. Ms McLaughlin says she wants to oversee a united elected body that's focused on a positive future.
You get far better outcomes when you do that, as you do in business with staff.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Port Pirie's council ballot has been drawn and it's a 3-way race between Mike Baisley, John Rode and Leon Stevens for mayor. In the lead up to the election, councillors stressed the importance of voting.
The ballot has been drawn for Port Pirie's 2018 council election, marking the start of the campaigning season. Local residents now have the chance to pick who they would like to represent them over the next 4 years.
So you've got 14 nominations, you must at least put 1 to 9 to get those preference votes working, Or I think under the new regulation, if you just put one, it suffices.
Port Pirie's youth follow the rest of Australia in being the lowest demographic to partake in the voting process. It's hoped that this year will see a boost in numbers from younger citizens.
I think there's a lack of awareness in the youth of Port Pirie for what it comes to with the council, and they do have a right in a democracy, so they should be a bit more aware that they can vote.
Port Pirie residents will have an opportunity to vote for their new members of council by the end of spring.
On the 10th of November, we start to do a count. We do a preliminary count here at Port Pirie, but the detailed count will be done by the Electoral Commission of South Australia.
Dominic Beaton, Southern Cross News.
Kids from across the region got a taste of what life at Flinders Uni would look like today. The university held a roadshow at Whyala's Samaritan College, where Year 10 and 11s were given an insight into the courses they can study. They were even able to take a tour of the campus through virtual reality goggles.
Trying to give students that opportunity and exposure to university, but also explore other pathways so they are well informed to make the best possible choice.
Up to 240 students took part. Wow, talk about the way of the future. A maths program designed to better engage students is taking Port Lincoln primary schools by storm. It's all about getting the kids outside of the traditional classroom.
Who would have thought going crabbing, fishing, looking at magpies, eating abalone and cooking in the kitchen could be used to teach the fundamentals of mathematics?
If you look deeply into something, there's maths all around us, so I like to hook the kids in through their interests, so taking them crabbing, getting a feed of crabs, bringing them back to school, cooking them up, cleaning them, eating them.
So how does crabbing relate to maths?
So look deeply into it. You can bring in time, measurement, like the size of crabs, cooking time, how long it takes to cool the crabs.
It's all part of an educational program developed by the Queensland University of Technology called UMI Deadly Maths.
Getting kids to see maths in reality and then be able to abstract the mathematics from the reality.
A program initially designed for Indigenous students.
The research has shown that the UMI program really works for Indigenous children. But as well as that, what we've found is it works for all children.
And there's plenty of pluses.
Attendance has improved, there's been high attendance, and yeah, they're willing to try new things and just have a go at all activities.
Today, teachers from across 6 primary schools in the region came together to learn UMI techniques from each other.
So it's a real sharing type of project, really, where everybody's learning together, teachers and students.
Casey Trelaw, Southern Cross News.
I wish my maths classes were like that. What a great program. Stay with us. After the break, we'll have the region's fuel prices. And in the weather, it's going to be a summery end to the week. I'll have all the local weather details next. Welcome back. Broken Hill locals will have a chance to green up their gardens this weekend. The city's tree giveaway is happening again, with over 1,000 plants up for grabs.
Free trees, if you please. Broken Hill's annual tree giveaway is one of the most popular community events on the calendar. On Saturday, locals will have the chance to pick up a maximum of 3 free plants to beautify their area. City Council recently took delivery of the plants, one of the biggest orders they've ever made.
We're looking at about 1,650 plants this year. So a few years ago, we were running about 1,200 to 1,300. So this time round, we've upped it a little bit to make sure that everyone doesn't miss out.
Council staff will be on hand at the giveaway to provide info about each plant.
You know, whether it be the spread of the tree, the height of the tree, if it needs full sunlight, if it needs part shade.
The giveaway starts at 9 o'clock on the Beryl Street side of the Civic Centre. It will also coincide with the Volunteer Expo happening inside.
If you've got a bare patch at home, trying to reduce that dust and that spread throughout the town, if someone can place, you know, a plant in there and make it spread and try and beautify their area, I think it's a win-win for everyone.
Patrick Ryanke, Southern Cross News.
The public are being urged to cast their votes for the Port Augusta Business Awards before voting ends tomorrow. People can choose from 15 categories, including the top gong of Most Outstanding Business. For more information, visit the Business Port Augusta website. And now it's time to see what the prices are looking like at the Bowser. Here's Mr. Fuel Watch himself, Patrick Reinke.
With school holidays just over a week away, petrol prices have already started to climb. Taking a look at unleaded, and it's not a healthy sight. Many Spencer Gulf towns have skyrocketed in the past week. Port Lincoln is up to $1.55, while Port Augusta and Whyalla have both jumped by 10 cents. Port Pirie has only seen a 1 cent rise to sit on $1.49. Kadina joins them after seeing a 6 cent spike. Here in Broken Hill, it's a welcome change with a bit of green on the board. Silver City motorists are now paying around $1.50, 4 cents cheaper than last week. Bad days in Adelaide though. City drivers will have to fork out $1.60 a litre after the price sprung up by 18 cents. To diesel now, and it's red, red, red. Whyalla is up by 3 cents, Port Augusta up by 2, Port Lincoln up by 1. Port Pirie is averaging $1.53, the same can be said for Kadina. It's not a good time to be in Broken Hill if you drive a diesel. We're paying around $1.61. And Adelaide has also seen an increase, prices going up by about 3 cents. Now remember, these prices are the regional averages and they do not reflect any one particular outlet. If you happen to find a spot that does sell unleaded or diesel for cheaper, let us know on our Facebook page.
Thanks, Pat. And time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. But first, check out this picture-perfect photo taken at North Shields Jetty near Port Lincoln. Thanks to Dylan Swinzer for sending it in. Well, it was a mix of sunshine and cloud today. Port Pirie, Whyalla and Port Lincoln all reaching a top of 17 degrees. On the satellite, clouds stretching from the northwest to southeastern parts of SA with a low pressure trough and cold front is triggering the odd shower. Skies are clearer elsewhere. Westerly shifting southwesterly winds up to 15 knots on the waters tomorrow, seas at 1.5 metres, and sunrise and sunset will be just before 6:15. Looking to Thursday's temperatures, and it's warming up slightly tomorrow. Again, we'll see fine conditions in most centres as temps hover around the high teens and low 20s. Cloud creeping in for Port Lincoln though, 18 the max. Now to check out the weekend forecast. 18 the top tomorrow for all districts, and skies are expected to clear for a gorgeous sunny Friday. 24 for Woodner, 24 the max for Cleve for Saturday as well, before temps dip down a little for Sunday. 17 the top for Port Lincoln. And look at all this sunshine. Hello summer. The mercury is set to rise into the high 20s for Whyalla and Port Augusta by the weekend, 29 and sunny for Saturday, and these warmer temps will continue into Sunday. Lastly, a stunning Saturday in store for Port Pirie, 25 the max, 26 in Broken Hill, and it will be a mostly fine day for Sunday, 19 the top for Clare. So summer is certainly fast approaching, but let's hope we get some much needed rain soon. And that's all from the team this Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. Good night.